to me. And Sri Lanka, I'm looking for a national director, but if that doesn't happen, that will also report into us. So as far as the world statistic goes, we are in 73 countries, 215,000 members, and 7,938 chapters. This keeps changing every day. So this is the latest as of April 6th. We did $11.17 billion last year. I think you all know these statistics. Have you been to a chapter meeting lately? Yeah, so you would have seen this, right? If you have not seen these numbers, please go back and update. The reason I put this is so that many times I go to a chapter meeting, they're still on the old stats. So take a picture of this and go to your leadership team and say, hey, can you please update these stats? The India stats, if I go to the next slide, we have 14,134 members, 311 chapters, 40 regions and 25 cities. Okay, and our average chapter size is 45.9, which is like one of the highest in the world. I'm really excited about this next number. The number over there is 692 crores. We have never done 692 crores in one single month. Give yourselves a big hand because in March we broke that. 692 crores. Isn't that amazing? Soon I'm waiting to see that mark which says when we finish the year, it will say India does $1 billion worth of business for our members. Currently we are about 750 million. It's not too far off. So I'm waiting for that 1 billion number to change and say we crossed $1 billion of referral business. Because we jumped from $450 million, which is actually here. From 1,860 crores, we went to 3,043 crores. And from there, the 3,043 crores was about 450 million. And then we took it to 5,004 crores, which is about 750 million. So it's going to be very soon that we cross that 1 billion mark. And that's when we are going to have a much bigger celebration and have fun. Because a rising tide, you would have heard that thing, a rising tide rises all ships. So if we do $1 billion, then everybody in this room here and maybe more will be making a good, their income would have increased. Next slide, please. So India continues to top in all the statistics. Mumbai right now, is, as of April 6th, we are 2,173 members, followed by Bangalore. I just saw a statistic this morning that Bangalore has added 9 more members, so just crossing the 2,000 member mark again. But India, I was just tracking the number of chapters. We have 4 chapters that are 100 plus. I think one of those chapters are here. What's the name of the chapter? Do you know that I'm always talking about Prudent when I travel around the world? And really, guys, and I'm so proud of you because not only are you a large chapter, but you're also making money, right? Yeah. Do you know how much they? Absolutely. I keep teaching when I go to Malaysia, Vietnam, or any of these places. When I talk about retention, I always bring up Prudent, and I always tell them, look, it's not about growing your chapter headcount, but it's also building the relationships. Bimal helped me put together a presentation that's being well received all over Asia, and we talk about the 12 tips of retention. And I love the way Prudent brings in their new members and what overall Calcutta, what you guys are doing. A member in Prudent, if I'm right, my last statistic was 1.12 crores of new business. That is what the member earns per year. Okay, through referrals. Referrals per member per year is 1.12 crores. That's over $250,000. That's amazing when you compare a similar size chapter that's somewhere else in India. I'll not name it. They make only 35 lakhs. Got it? So you guys have to give yourselves a big hand because you are doing things right. The other thing is out of the 506 chapters across the world that are 50 members and above, 107 of them are from India. 1/5 is from India. And we continue to grow. We talk about 107. Do you know the next country that's below this is only in double digit, 10s or 15s chapters. So we are rocking the boat when it comes to running large chapters or starting large chapters. We are expert at that. Now I want us to focus on becoming the wealthiest country in the world in terms of referral per member. And you will start seeing this statistic because I'm starting to publish it. I've started listing the top 10 cities. Let me go here. This is the top 10 largest size chapters and how much money they are making. I'm starting to track and publish how much is each of these members in those chapters making. And we are starting to see good traction in those. So coming back to another slide, I would like to definitely recognize here, the slide before this, please. Yeah. Give yourselves a big hand because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 are all from India. That's another dream. I always wanted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I wanted to learn how to count. I have missed out 7, 8, 9. And so soon we want to get all the 10 chapters from India. And my vision is all the top 25 regions in the world have to be from Asia Pacific. They cannot be. I'm going to really compete hard with Andy and Elise and going to make sure that we guys are on top as far as the Asia Pacific marketplace is. I'm a very competitive guy in that sense. So out of the 39 regions in India, we have 34 in green, 2 in amber, so 36 regions are very healthy, they're running. We have 2 regions in red and only 1 in gray. When we started India last year, there were several in gray, and I can see that transitioning up because we're starting to provide more one-to-one support across for running regions. And Murli is doing that along with some of his district directors. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. So, do you guys agree that India is great at launching chapters, filling chapters, retaining? Yeah? And we are also fantastic at NPS score because when we started NPS, I'm not going to go into detail, but it's called the Net Promoter Score. We started at 6 in the month of February in 2015. We crossed 52 several times, you know, and now we are around the 47 to 50 mark. So that means our members are also happy. We have happy members. When happy members are there, members invite, and you know things happen, money happens, and people retain. So I'm happy with where we are, and like Ivan was saying earlier, it's not getting very complacent. We need to make a difference and be able to take this and also share the success that we're having. So next slide, please. So what's next? The next, I would like is to be able to share the success that we're having in the larger cities over to our other cities. That's a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, right? We now have Siliguri coming on board now. You guys already started. But here are some of the cities that we would like your referrals to come from. Next slide, please. In West Bengal, I mean, we have about 14 cities identified, and you've seen Amit here on stage, so please do reach out to him when you're having dinner. To go reach out if you have a friend, a relative who's yearning to grow their business and they do not have BNI, they don't have that engine of BNI in their small city, please do refer them to Amit, and we will be able to get that city up and going. Each one of our business cities, including Siliguri, have come through a referral through our network. It has come from members like you who have experienced BNI and then they referred other members. Next slide, please. In Bihar, if you are in that vicinity of Bihar, these are some of the cities. The next slide, please. If you are in Orissa, Mizoram, Assam, Manipur, if you have friends in any of these places, please refer. Next slide, please. We are also focused on the 7 sisters. Any, you guys, I know you are already in the zone there, but if you have any other friends in that zone, please do. Because what we have seen when a place like Erode, which is a tier 3 city in Tamil Nadu, is starting to do business with the world outside. They're able to do with Chennai, with across, they're able to tap in and start selling their textile products across the world. Okay? So you're going to find a small time a person who's making handicrafts in a small village who wants to then connect. It is our responsibility to share the success that we are having with the other cities. Next slide, please. So here, I've been traveling around. I've been in 9 countries in the last 50 days. I just got back from Sri Lanka, but amazing journey. Meeting BNI members all over the world. I've been to their chapter meetings. Many times it's in a different language. I cannot understand the language, but there's one thing I do understand. I do understand the energy, the excitement that they have, whether it's a small chapter or a large chapter. I've attended meetings in Thailand, in Cambodia. Can you go back to the previous slide, please? Korea. This is another chapter at Vietnam. And also doing smaller meetings in Singapore at the coffee shops with them, explaining to them with the director consultants. Next slide, please. And we're talking about Vietnam, Cambodia, and this is something that we have not done before. On the right-hand side, we trained 47 executive directors from 7 countries in Vietnam using multiple translators. We had a Vietnamese translator and a Korean translator. So guys, the reason I'm sharing all this is your mind should go beyond your chapter, beyond your city, beyond your country. BNI is there for us. There was a gentleman who asked a question earlier, how do we connect? Next slide, please. So this is a small team in Laos. They're supposed to have 16 members. When I went in, they had 12. They had a lot of visitors, so we even had the visitors sit in the photograph. but a fantastic team. They have the passion. They don't have the technology we have. So I want members from here to be able to go there and connect with those members and start doing business, teaching them what, what we are doing here, so that they are also able to get that, the flame and things that we are doing. Next slide, please. So whether it is, has anybody been in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam? You've seen how busy it is and how those traffic, there's no, even if the traffic light, they just go like this, and there's no accidents and all, right? But if you want to go around, I wanted to get dinner one night, and I was looking at the Uber app, and guess what I get? I get a guy in the scooter. So that's the Uber guy. He took me out took me to a Pizza Hut for dinner. Whether you're in a bustling city like Ho Chi Minh City, or next slide, please, or you're just sitting in the early morning hours, just imagine, quiet in Angkor Wat, Cambodia, sitting, watching the sunrise coming up beyond that temple that's, over 800 years old. It's amazing. BNI gives you these opportunities to travel. BNI gives you these opportunities to go and link up and make friends across the world. Use the network. It's not just sitting in your chapter, and your mind should go way beyond your chapter in terms of how you can make connections across the world. Next slide, please. So how do we do our business across? There are some do's and maybe what I don't like to say don'ts, but these are my recommendations. We need to do business beyond borders. Whether you're doing a cross-chapter meeting, whether between Calcutta and maybe take a chapter in Mumbai, you go and do a cross-chapter one. Do like a trade show. There's a specific format for a cross-chapter meeting. Whether you make sure that you're buying in BNI. If you have any product or service to buy, first seek out a BNI member within your chapter or across your chapter or across your country. Have that loyalty to buy first within BNI. Do your research, but please do not spam. Use BNI Connect to do your research. I get calls from Canada. The things have now reduced, but I got a complaint from Alaska saying, hey, members from India are spamming. Even today, I got a message from another country saying, guys are going into BNI Connect, downloading the thing. So please don't spam, because it doesn't work. The best way, so there was somebody who asked me, who was the gentleman who asked, how do I connect to other countries? Best way is to network through word of mouth. Ask your director, ask your ED to connect you, ask your national director to connect you, and I can connect you. There's a member in Malaysia, for example, who wanted to buy chapati making machines. I put it on our ED group. I got an answer out of our Coimbatore. So the lady from Malaysia came and bought chapati making machines. A guy from Coimbatore wanted to buy a particular product called Coco Easy, and it's available only in Thailand. Within a minute, we were able to get those answers. I published it on the group. There are 2 vendors that he got from Thailand. Last weekend I was in Sri Lanka interviewing people to buy, or transition Sri Lanka and Maldives. The gentleman there is a very, very wealthy businessman. He wanted some printing services from India. What do? We immediately connected him to a vendor in Bangalore. Business is out there, so let's use the network. Don't spam, please. Just work it through our network. Ask us so that we'll be able to connect you in the proper way. You do cross-chapter meetings, cross-city, cross-country delegations. My vision is there'll be a chapter from Calcutta going into a chapter in Vietnam, or a chapter from Calcutta going to Thailand. How many of you fired up about that? Yeah, you want to do how about Prudent going to the largest chapter in another country, yeah? Yeah. Or Taj, or any of your chapters. Let's have a focus and then go to that. Let's make sure that when we go there, that business is transacted. All of you are ready to travel. So India is the leader right now. Let's India lead the pace right now in Asia Pacific. And as we take Asia Pacific from 43,000 members to 100,000 members. Are you guys with me? Yeah, let's do it. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it back to our MC. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mac. That was indeed a brilliant insight on the numbers for BNI India. And very rightly said, what gets measured gets done. So yes, Mac, your vision, which you have for India, it's on its way to get manifested. Do we hear yes or yes? Yes. Not convincing enough. Yes or yes? Yes. Thank you so much. Now, can I please invite our exclusive event partner, Meridian Group, MD, Mr. Anil Gadia. Can you please have you on stage, please? Mr. Anil Gadia, can we please have you on stage? Do we have Mr. Anil Gadia with us? Rajesh ji, is Anil ji there? On the way. 5 minutes? Okay. So I think we'll move on. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure, and it's a great privilege for me. It's a great privilege, it's a great honor for me to read this next bio sheet. So I'm going to read this bio sheet, which gives me goosebumps. So here it is. Dr. Ivan Misner is the founder and chief visionary officer of BNI, the world's largest business networking organization. Founded in 1985, the organization now has over 7,800 chapters throughout every populated continent in the world. Last year alone, BNI generated 8.8 million referrals, resulting in roughly $11.1 billion worth of business for its members. Dr. Meisner's PhD is from University of Southern California. He's a New York Times best-selling author who has written 21 books. He's also a columnist for entrepreneur.com and has been a university professor as well as a member of the board of trustees for the University of La Verne. Called the father of modern networking by CNN and one of the top networking experts by Forbes, Dr. Meisner is considered to be one of the world's leading experts on business networking and has been a keynote speaker for major corporations and associations throughout the world. He has been featured in the LA Times, Wall Street Journal, and New York Times, as well as numerous TV and radio shows, including CNN, BBC, and The Today Show on NBC. Among his many awards, he has been named the Humanitarian of the Year by the Red Cross and was recently the recipient of John C. Maxwell Leadership Award. He's also proud to be the co-founder of BNI Charitable Foundation. He and his wife, Elizabeth, are now empty nesters with 3 adult children. Oh, and in his spare time, he's also guess what? An amateur magician and a black belt in karate. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Kolkata, please put your hands together for a very warm welcome for Dr. Ivan Meisner.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be here. What a great looking group, by the way, those masks. They look familiar in some way. I can't quite put my finger on it. Okay, so where's the clicker? I know, I saw it put up here. It's now MIA. Thank you very much. You'll see here. So are we working now? Let's give it a try. Hey, all right, good. Whew, love it when technology actually works. So that was my last visit to India. I really enjoyed my last visit, and it's great to be back. It's great to be back to the #1 country in traffic lights, India, in the #1 region, Calcutta. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some material I call networking for success. And we should have a little bit of time to take a couple of questions at the end. So make it a good question. Think about something. And if we have time, I'll definitely take a couple more questions. Then I think we're going to have dinner. And I would be happy to meet all of you, do a photograph. So I'll stick around. I'm not running away. Let's get started. A few years ago, I went to do a presentation in London, and it was an all-day event, a lot of networking taking place, and I was the keynote speaker, and we got to the presentation, and I wanted to try something out I hadn't done before. There were about 900 people in the audience, and I asked everyone, I said, how many of you here today, you don't have to raise your hands, this is what I asked them. How many of you are here today hoping to possibly sell something? 900 people raised their hands. The entire audience raised their hands. I said, okay, great. How many of you are here today? Second question, how many of you are here today hoping to possibly buy something? No one raised their hand. Not one single person. This is what I call the networking disconnect. People show up at networking events wanting to sell, but nobody is there to buy. This is why many times you go to a networking event and you come back and it's like you want to get a shower because you feel dirty. It's like everybody is trying to sell to you. Networking is not a face-to-face cold calling opportunity. So when it's done wrong, that's what happens. Is that people, they meet someone, they go, hi, my name's Ike, let's do business. Maybe